Good. Oh my goodness, I almost said good morning. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Lisa Lashendro. I am one of the annuity sales directors here at Insurance Agency Marketing Services. And boy, let me tell you, we've got quite the audience today. So with this volume of folks interested in preset appointments, I would ask that you go ahead. You can send your questions through the question box. If I don't get to your question, then I will definitely be following up with you and getting all that answered. And then we also have our guest speaker, Rob Marcovitz here. Rob, say hi.
Hello, everyone. We're glad to have you here today for sure.
Absolutely. So Rob is our specialist. He is the man with the plan when it comes to preset appointments. He's been in the industry for a very long time, been doing this for a long time. And James says, long time no talk, buddy. Um, so yeah, we're excited to do this. Now, the way Rob and I kind of flow is we handle this kind of like a podcast. So you'll kind of catch on to that. I do have a few slides I'm going to show you, what your calendar might look like, what some of the things that you'll get out of preset appointments. But before I get started on telling you a little bit about IAMS, Rob and I are going to dissect this instead of just throwing things at the wall and see what sticks. I mean, a lot of IMOs out there, hey, over here, I've got the best preset appointment program over here, or check out my program, guaranteed, 85%, turnaround, whatever, conversion rate. We do it a little differently here at IAMS. So we have several different programs that Rob and I are going to go over with you today. But instead of just throwing programs at you, I like to kind of have give you a real good overview of each program and then determine which one is the best fit for you. So, I don't make any money unless you make money. And, so whether you spend $1,000 on marketing or $5 on marketing, the end of the day, we're in it to make you grow your business. So just always keep that in mind. Um, and Rob is always available. He helps a lot of my agents. He's got a lot of good relationships with our agents here. And so Rob, I'm always happy to have you join me on these webinars. Um,
Absolutely. I love being here too. So
so like I said, we have quite the audience. What a great turnout. I see a lot of names that I was able to meet with last week at our academy. So for those of you welcome. Great to see you. I also see quite a few names on here that I have not met with or spoken with before, and that tells me that this is maybe your first webinar with IAMS. So I'm going to go over a couple things that you get when you partner, or I like to call it become part of the IAMS family, because I really feel like you get that family presence here. For those of you that are new to IAMS, or those of you that maybe have just contracted, this is a good refresher so that you know what you're getting when you're contracted and doing your business and having that partnership with us. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. All right, so right out of the gate, when you get contracted with IAMS, you automatically are in the game for a new producer builders program. So in the first 6 months, whatever um, whatever you write with IAMS, whether that's life or annuity business, it puts you in one of these categories, starting at 100,000. And then what we do, and what you'll learn in working with us, is we like to put our money back into your marketing adventure so that you can grow your business. That's what that partnership is. That's that family feel is. So I'll get into some of the things that we have here at IAMS, like our creative department and all the resources you have. But out of the gate, first 6 months, we're going to give you an extra bonus. You could put that into maybe paying off a mailer that you did, or maybe you need to revamp your website. Maybe it's hey, maybe it's preset appointments. So we think outside the box. These are just ideas and ways where you can kind of see what kind of things that you would get with that new producer bonus. Referrals. I know I appreciate my agents, that enjoy working with me, and then they send a buddy over and say, "Hey, Lisa did a good job for you." There's no better compliment in our business than a referral. So what we do here at IAMS is we let you know that we appreciate that every time that referral writes a piece of business, you are going to get an override on that business that's going to come from a check to IAMS to you every quarter. So this doesn't shave a dime off of what your referral makes. They still get whatever commission that, the street commission or whatever it is. And, and again, it's just a check directly from Mr. Steve Murray to show his appreciation to you for giving us that referral, because without you, we wouldn't have that partnership with that agent. So if you have any questions on that or anybody in mind, jot them down, and we'll get you rolling on that. Back office support. This is really something that we're well known for. When you're working with IAMS, our motto is for you to be out there speaking with people. Let us do the back office stuff for you. I don't have any carriers on the phone with me right now, but I mean, if you think about all the time that you spend on the phone on hold with carriers to get their status of cases, or maybe it's a brochure, or maybe it's an illustration or approval on something. Why waste your time with that? Let us do that for you. That's our job. Our job is to, do all the back office work so that you can focus on what you do best, and that's being in front of clients. Also, what we do here is we have our website. It's www.imzinc.com. I'm going to fast forward a little bit here to that slide. If you do not have this website saved on your browser, please do it now. You will find that once you get registered on imzinc.com, you will have a plethora of resources, anywhere from term quoters to requesting illustrations, or maybe it's registering for our next academy. Maybe it's going to be looking up a carrier, or finding the best MIGA rate or whatever. We have a sales resource library where we have a plethora of information there, one-page concepts, presentations, all sorts of goodies there for you to utilize. And then one of those goodies is also going to be our EAP program that we have, which is Firelight. And if you have not done an EAP before, I spend a lot of time on the phone helping my agents work through their first couple Firelight applications. And once they do, they never go back. So I challenge you to give that a try. If you want our services or our help to walk you through that app, all you have to do is give us a call, shoot me an email, let us know, and we're there for you. I know I'm going a little fast, but Rob and I have a lot of stuff we want to cover. Talking about some of the resources that we have at IAMS, our creative marketing solutions. If you remember one of the first slides I just showed you, we have our new producer bonus bucks, right? Well, our creative marketing team, these guys are so talented. We have these guys in-house. They're on our their salary is on IAMS, so we're not contracting them out. That's not, we don't have to use a vendor or anything. We have all these guys in-house. So if you call me and say, hey, what would it be if I added this landing page to my website, or how can what do you think about my logo, or maybe it's a unique flyer or business card, then I can get you over to my creative department guys and gals, and they can help you, with all of that. They can do it for you. They can give you suggestions. You can go to your cousin Ed that does websites and take our suggestions over to him. It's a great resource to have. So never forget about our creative team. Talked about our website. Okay, IAMS Wealth Management. And when I talk about this one, I am going to launch a poll because I absolutely love these guys. So a while back, Steven and Charles were kind of wondering, what else do we need to add to IAMS to really be that one-stop shop to really satisfy all these needs? And they said, well, we don't have anything for security business. Well, what about those agents that don't want to get their securities license and just need some help with that? Well, let's do IAMS Wealth Management. So IAMS Wealth Management can do two things for you. They can either you can either park your license and be part of IAMS Wealth Management and write your business there if you're registered. And then you get all of that back service. You get all of that Cadillac service that you normally would with IAMS. You get the same kind of deal over on the wealth management side. Now, on the opposite spectrum of it, if you are not registered to sell that kind of business and you want to keep your client in your own backyard, and this story means a lot to me because I was one of those agents that had to bring somebody in that was had their 6 or had their 7 at the time. When you bring somebody else in to write that registered business, are you writing them in on the rest of the applications too that you didn't need the help on? The annuities, the life business, all of that. And then what happens? You know, once you get registered and you decide to get your license, do they transfer that client back to you? Absolutely not. IAMS Wealth Management does. So you can utilize us to help you keep that client in your control and make sure that you're not losing any commission or business on the stuff that you can write. And IAMS Wealth Management is just helping you with the things that the client needs help with. And then if you ever decide to get licensed, we'll transfer the client back to you. Nobody else does that. So if you have any questions on this or want to talk to Duncan or Zach or Charles or anybody, just select yes, and one of our guys will get a hold of you. I'm going to close the poll. I appreciate everybody responding so quickly on that. And I'm excited to get into it, Rob. Okay. Life and Annuity Academy. We just had our last one of the year last week that we did with Athene. Rob had the pleasure of having Rob there to talk about preset appointments. This is something that is a definite privilege to have as a resource with IAMS. Once you start writing some business with us, you can be qualified to go to our next Life and Annuity Academy. We typically try to have maybe 3 or 4 of them a year. But we pay for everything. We pay for your flight, travel, hotel, food, drink, entertainment, the whole bit. So you can leave your money at home, just bring your driver's license so you can get on the plane. And it's 2.5 days with nothing but other successful producers in the same room, hearing from some of the best in our industry, walking away with tools and ideas to grow your business. That is the goal of those academies. Like I said, we just had our last one for the year last week. Stay tuned. You can definitely go onto our website and register for the next one if it's something that but obviously we don't have any dates or anything scheduled concrete as of yet. So you'll see our advertising on that. If you have any questions, just let me know. Okay. Also, part of IAMS, we have right now through the end of the year, guys, double trip credits. That means if you write $1 million, you get another $1 million in trip credit. And I've got 2 trips I'm going to talk to you about that we have going right now. We have the one with Athene. So any Athene business that you write takes $3 million in premium to qualify. We're doing this qualification through the end of the year. So we have, some time left here, but this is going to be a mountain retreat out in Park City, Utah. You can see from the picture, not a bad spot. You have any questions on that? Like I said, double trip credits from now to the end of the year. The next one where you can double dip here is we have double trip credits for our IAMS top producer retreat, and that is going to be through the end of this month. maybe through the end of the year, possibly. We'll see if Steve Murray feels friendly towards Christmas. But yeah, double trip. So if you write, let's say an example, if you write an Athene annuity, you get those credits, double trip for both our Seaside Escape and Utah. So just throwing that out there. If you have any questions on these, definitely let us know. And with that, Rob, are you ready to have a discussion?
I am ready to have a discussion for sure.
Okay, cool. So I'm just going to go out, like I said at the beginning, and we're going to break this down in what, 4 categories?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the big thing, so I'm going to kind of steal this from you for a minute, Lisa. I think the big thing with everybody, a couple things I want to say is, hey, the opportunity at IAMS is awesome. I work with a lot of different groups. I was out there for this convention Lisa was just talking about, had a great time with everybody. They really do things the right way. I like that slide better though, Lisa, that you just popped up. That looks a lot better. Sunny, sunny and nice. But anyway, you guys, there is a lot of opportunity there. The other thing Lisa laughs at me when I say this, and Steve Murray does the same thing, but I said, hey, these are one of the groups where actually, I call these guys on the phone. I talk to Lisa a couple times a week and Laura and the rest of the team over there at the IAMS, but they're one of the only groups that I ever reach out to, and a live body answers the phone within the first ring or so. So, as far as she's talking about customer service, and I know you guys always get that song and dance from a lot of, IMOs and groups, and, oh yeah, we're going to do this for you and do that for you. Well, these guys really do that. As far as these appointments go, and we'll just get into the brunt of it a little bit is, there's a lot of different marketing pieces. And I think this is what Lisa was going to say, and a lot of different opportunities for you guys out there. And we're coming up on the end of the year. And I would say, at the beginning of the year, a lot of you probably said, hey, I have a goal for myself. I made 200,000 last year. I wanted to do, 500,000 this year. And where are you sitting in that goal? And a lot of times, hey, we're our own worst enemy. And if you don't take the opportunity to make yourself better to get to that goal, then, why set the goal? So make some changes. And sometimes those changes are really hard. And I guess really what the opportunity is with IAMS in any of these appointment systems, whether it's one I represent or, other lead platforms that I saw inside of what IAMS has to offer. Take advantage of those, because the thing is what I always tell agents is, you guys spend 2/3 of your day in general trying to figure out how to get in front of a new client. A lot of times trying to figure out how to market yourself. Let Lisa and the team at IAMS do that. They can build websites. They're experts at that, far better than you guys are, whether you think so or not. Same thing goes with creating appointments. Hey, let us do that. Let one of these people do it that creates appointments. That's what they do. I always tell everybody, hey, stay in your lane. But the third thing is where you guys make your money is, and to hit that goal is you sit there and do 2/3 of the day of that, and then 1/3 of the day, hopefully kneecap to kneecap, or in this case, Zoom video conference on the phone with a client. That's where you make your money. If we can free up your time, meaning if you'll utilize the tools that IAMS is offering you with being able to run quotes for you, being able to build websites for you, being able to hook you up with somebody like me that sells appointments, or another lead vendor or whatever it is to keep you busy, that frees up 2/3 of your day. Well, if we can pipeline people in front of you that 2/3 of the day, which we can, you're going to double or triple your business. So if you had that goal and you were going, hey, I made 250 last year, I wanted to make 750 this year, and you're short, it's because you didn't take care of some of the opportunities that are in front of you. And so what I would say to everybody before we get into it a little bit deeper is just, hey, we're going to match you up. Lisa and the team will match you up with what's right, whether I like it or not. They're there for you. And I'm really here for you. I want you to succeed. Lisa wants you to succeed. The better you guys do, the better we do. And we're sitting here trying to create a win-win scenario. Sorry to cut you off on that, Lisa. What were you going to say?
No, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Um, I'd say let's get into the nitty gritty and start, we're gonna do an overview of So all of these are going to be preset appointments, just like the webinar invite said. If you're looking for preset appointments, all of these are going to be appointments that, I love Rob's story, just the same as if you were going to go to an appointment, you have it booked on your calendar, except you're going to leave he does it so much better than I do, guys.
You want me to
You're
do
going to
it?
leave the keys
You
on the
want me to do it? I'll
dresser.
do it.
Do it, do it, do it.
So, for those of you, and this is the big joke, we joke about this all the time, but hey, it's a challenge. With COVID, it kind of pushed everybody, the insurance industry about 7 years down the road. And there's a lot of you, I know you love being in front of the client. You guys are experts at facial recognition. We get it, we understand it, but the industry's changed and society's really changed. And so in the past, where you've gone and picked up your keys off the nightstand, you go down to your car and you start it up and you drive through traffic, and then you sit down with your client, you're face to face with your client. It's all the same, really. It's just a different perspective. You're going to leave your keys on the nightstand, the car in the garage, right? You're going to go to the keys on your desktop or laptop. And that's what's going to drive you face to face with your client or on the phone with your client. And from there, it's business as usual. Is it a little bit of a learning curve? Yes. But, look at all these insurance companies and all the e-apps that you now do. Well, 5 years ago, you weren't doing that, right? So it's a change. The other cool thing about it, it helps you in efficiency. For those of you that, I don't care whether you live in a teeny tiny town and there's 5,000 people there. Well, we're going to have to market to a bigger area to get people to you, number one, which means if you were driving around to appointments, if you're in the middle of Texas, one little town could be 100 miles away from another little town. Well, if we're scheduling appointments every hour on the hour, unless you're driving a Ferrari or something and being crazy, there's no way you're going to make it to those appointments. Same goes if you live in LA, right? You can't go on 3 appointments or maybe you can go on 2 or 3 a day max because you're driving all over the place trying to get to them. So, a lot of this stuff is, what my talk was about in the beginning of this introduction. This is, hey, if you want to succeed, you need to be more efficient. Be efficient with your time. One nice thing is, Lisa has on there the leads, and I always give her crap about it. These are actually appointments. And so, hey, what's the difference? All these companies that, all the choices we have for you guys, they create, sell, deliver, confirm one appointment, one time to a single agent. So you're not going to get the same thing. I always joke around and go, hey, a lot of lead companies bill you up front. You know why? Because they're like, hey, they're $30 a piece. I'm going to buy 100 of them. You got to cough up $3,000. Well, it's because you won't come back. The average leads in the country across the bandwidth of all environments or markets, I should say, is on the average, the first 60 people don't answer. Some of you are going to be laughing at what I say next. The next 30 people are like, take me off the list for the 50th time. Well, they don't realize, that their name's been sold off 50 times, right? And you got a shot at the last 10. And the problem with the last 10 is, a lot of those people, you're doing the song and dance pivot on why they need insurance and why you're not there to set up their iPad, right? And so the cool thing, Lisa and I talk about this all the time, but the cool thing about this, these are appointments. And the other cool thing is none of these companies set these appointments on any premise of, hey, do you want to win a free trip, win a free iPad, win a free gift card? None of the companies that IAMS does business with, at least in these platforms I represent, do business that way. So it's not a bait and switch deal. We're reaching out to these people and talking to, the educators, the state employees, the colleges, the VA employees, the federal employees, whatever they are. We have VAs written in there, but they are federal employees across the board. We're reaching out and talking to them about, hey, would you like to know more about your pensions and retirements? So that's where the big opportunity is. Lisa, are we going down the right path?
I think so. So, with all the different categories of preset appointments that you have with IAMS, basically what we're saying is, they're all going to be coming from the same type of lead source, and these are the categories of opportunities that you're going to have to work with. So I think, with that in mind, I'd say I think we made that pretty clear.
Yeah, pretty clear.
I hope you notice I changed that to appointments instead of leads.
I see that. You're editing right in the middle of it. So
Yep.
the Rob
Yep.
and Lisa entertainment show going on here. But, the other thing is, you guys, for some of you out there, I always like to tell you this a little bit is, where the opportunity lies. I know some of you think, hey, maybe the educator market's not for me. You know what? Maybe it's not. You might want to do colleges. You might want to do Fed. You can do some of them or all of them. It can be changed in the middle of what you're doing. You might try one and go, hey, I'm not as successful here. I have agents all the time ask me, hey, where's the most successful appointments? It's totally up to you, doing whatever you do. I have a client of mine, she jumped into the K through 12 market. She worked it for, about 8-9 months. She made $250,000 that year in the K through 12 market. So, and didn't have any big ones. It's just about the consistency in having your pipeline full. One of the issues being in the insurance industry is a lot of times, it's like home run, strike out. I'm rich, I'm poor, I'm rich, I'm poor. Lisa and IAMS and the team there can moderate that by helping you keep your pipeline full. And if we keep that activity going all the time on a continual basis, you're going to be home run, home run, home run, home run, right? Because you have that flow of cash coming in your account instead of you worrying about waking up in the morning. And I'm sure there's some of you on this phone call that are doing that, waking up in the morning and go, hey, did I make anything today? Did I get paid? I needed that money in my account. It's hard living like that. So, do something different, be proactive and make a little bit of a change to get yourself to that, hey, I want to go down that successful path. We can only show you this stuff. We can't make you do it, right, Lisa?
That is correct. That is correct. Well, I'd say let's go on to, so there's a couple categories. Do you want to start with the federal one?
Sure, absolutely.
Let's start there and work our way down.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in these formats and what we're talking about, is we're dealing with employees like it says on the slide, but in the VA market, what we're looking at, is a lot of these appointment setting companies primarily started out in the mostly in the VA hospitals. Maybe primarily some of them started out in the postal market, but that's been worked over pretty hard. The cool thing now is they're starting to expand into these other markets. The nice thing about jumping into the federal market is, the review of the pension, the federal pension's the federal pension. So it makes it a little bit easier on you guys when you go through those reviews. But on any of these systems, what you would do is you're going to opt in by state. So you're going to go, oh, I live in the state of California, and I just want federal appointments in the state of California. You'd opt in that way. You could get an employee from any one of the divisions of the federal government, if that makes sense. And what they're expecting, same thing, just to reiterate, a pension retirement review. So you do need to become a little bit of an expert in that area as far as knowing how to do a federal pension calculation. The next area from there, colleges, same thing. Think about the universities, colleges. You're going to deal with any of the employees that work for the universities. Those have been really, really good appointments, over the longevity of stuff. Some of my personal contacts that I have in the industry, with agents that I call you guys clients, but that are friends of mine, have had some great success with the colleges, in that market. The next one, same thing in the colleges. It's going to be, you're going to opt in by state. Hey, I live in the state of Texas. You could get any, I apologize, my other phone was ringing. You could get any appointment from any university in the state of Texas, if that makes sense. State employees, so a little bit different than the federal market, but you all have an understanding of what a state employee is. I would imagine, they work for the state government instead of the federal government. Same thing there. The premise is set the same way. One thing we left out on that slide, Lisa, I know you don't want to be re-editing, and one place that there's been some pretty good success, but we also do the city, county, municipalities.
Oh,
So
yeah.
think about the
Yeah, that's
firemen,
the added.
policemen, city, county, municipal people. I love how you're editing as we go.
No time like the present. Why not?
This is amazing, you guys. And then, of course, the last group, you guys, is going to be educators. So think about, school teachers, people that work at the in the K through 12 market. And same thing goes there. Most of these groups are going to pull you in by the state you're in. And it's just easier that way. And one of the reasons I know some of you guys go, I want to do stuff only in my backyard. Well, you're really limiting yourself. And that's what slows you down from hitting those goals. Hey, there's opportunities down the road too. You might one day all of a sudden go, hey, right now, it's just me. I'm a one person show here, but all of a sudden, in a year or whatever, 2 years, you might go, God, I really want to expand my business. You might come up with a different thing and go, hey, I want to create an agency. Well, now you have IAMS to help you back you up to create an agency. But, if you're living in Dallas and you had been accepting appointments everywhere, and all of a sudden you were getting all these appointments in Houston, let's say, for example, and you've created a bunch of clients down there, now it's really easy to build another business down there. And you might go, hey, I want to open an office down there and bring some employees in underneath me, right, that I can override and kind of go from there. So keep your minds open on that, on that side of it. The cool thing about these appointments, that's different across the board than anybody else's is, when we're reaching out to these people, like I said, we're not giving away anything for free. The other big thing is, all these people are employed. So these are all employees and they have some income, which is a big deal. Some of these leads that you get once in a while, you'll call somebody and it's like, heck, some of them can't even buy a cup of coffee, right? And so you want to make sure that at least these people have some kind of income. So the nice thing is you're getting a little bit of that on this side for sure. Last thing about what's going on, and I don't know, Lisa, if I'm jumping ahead of myself, did we go
Um,
into it? Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, so each of these categories, your conversation is gonna be just a little bit different. And that's why we're gonna venture out and talk about the specific program we have for federal employees, the specific program that we have for 403B colleges, municipalities. And then the last program is um, D, all the above. So, your conversation, your knowledge base is going to be a little bit different with each of these categories, right? Like Rob was saying, with the federal space, you're going to want to make sure that you understand that federal pension program and how that works. With municipalities or city counties, you're going to want to make sure how their pensions work before you take your first appointment. And that's just me being blunt and honest and saying, why go on these appointments if you're not going to, let me say, have egg on your face and not have the knowledge base. You're going to lose your credibility right out of the gate. So
Right,
I can't express enough how important it is to be able to have that knowledge base so that you have the confidence going into these appointments and not looking like a rookie.
right. You want to look like the expert and be the expert. That makes sense for sure. So
Yep.
absolutely.
So with that in mind, I think that rolls us right into the federal lead program that we have. So the first program we're going to talk to you about with the federal lead program, we have an expert in federal appointments. The guy knows everything about the federal space. He's been doing it for quite some time and is an expert. But he has we have the capability of giving you access to him. It is a 25-75 split, and you pay $65 per appointment to get those federal employees in front of you. The nice thing about this is that you will have solid training and role playing and that one-on-one attention to really be prepared. I shouldn't say one-on-one attention. I mean, he does like classes, but it's only a handful of agents at a time so that they can make sure you're darn ready to take that first preset appointment. And if you have that confidence and they're doing this role playing with you and they're, giving you everything that you need to be educated to make that a success, then, I mean, this guy, that's all he does on his own for Fed appointments. I mean, I think he did like 5.5 million last year on annuities and 300,000 in target premium for life. So I don't know, Rob, do you have anything to share on that, on
No, I
the
mean,
federal program?
I'd say you're 100% on. The big thing is in any of these markets, hey, you want to be the expert, and you're going to have to learn how to do their pensions, on that side of it for sure. So,
So that's an option for those of you out there that might need a little, might need a little help. Maybe you're a little newer to the business. Maybe you just want to revamp. Okay, well, I've been in the education space, or I've been in the Medicare space for so long. I've done a couple annuities here and there. Maybe you would like a mentor, that could, so he could act as a mentor. They could act as, just somebody that's going to teach you how to run with the federal space. And then it's up to you with any of these programs we talk about here, Rob. There is no commitment. Like, you can try it for a
absolutely.
few times and quit anytime you will, like, right? I mean, there's
Yeah. So, you guys, having access to IAMS, and because of your access with IAMS, most of these companies, as you guys know, because some of you guys have reached out to probably companies like this, is, there's sign up fees, there's registration fees, monthly access fees, all that stuff. IAMS is taking care of all that for you. IAMS is also negotiated deals where, hey, you have no contracts. And that's what Lisa's talking about. So if you want to buy one appointment, great, buy one appointment. If you want none, don't buy any. If you want to buy a million of them, buy a million of them. But the nice thing about it is, on that side of it is, hey, you don't have any contact or contracts at all as far as commitment wise to these appointment setting systems. So, some of them are out there and they're going, hey, you got to give me $7,000, and then you got to be on it for 3 months, and you got to do this and you got to do that. Hey, you don't have any of that here. There's plenty of opportunity to be able to get out there and go on these appointments. Lisa's got you VIP prices, just because of the association with IAMS, and you get started up, get up and running, and kind of start from there. What's next, Lisa?
next we're going to talk about the 403B space and the 7525. So I'll let you lead that one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he's doing that in the colleges as well, from what I was told. But
Yep.
you guys, so there's a huge opportunity here. You're like, hey, some of you out there, and this is this is another appointment system that's offered exclusively through IAMS, is they have an opportunity where the IAMS will basically provide you the appointments at no charge. However, you're doing a 25% app split with them. The cool thing about these guys is you're getting, somebody with a little more, so to say, sauce in the game, right? A little more skin in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to turn around, and they do have some more touches on the appointments. Now you're going, hey, I don't know about a 25% apps, but the cool thing I'm seeing on this platform, as I've thrown people onto the system, is their close rates have been a little bit higher because they're getting a little bit more quote unquote free training to participate in the program. They're giving you a little bit of that training. The other thing is, it's a little bit more robust. Is most of these systems, and Lisa hasn't shown you the slide of it yet, but we'll show it to you in a minute. But most of these systems, it creates a calendar for you, and you basically block off your calendar for the time you don't want appointments, which looks like this. And what you see in the calendar, those green things, are appointments. But what happens is with these guys is, in all these systems, what happens is when an appointment's created, it's delivered to your calendar, as you see in green, and then you will get a text or an email. So it's usually for sure an email in all the systems. You will get an email notifying you of, hey, agent, Lisa, you've received an appointment, please check your calendar. And what happens is, if Lisa could click on one of these, which she can't because it's a screenshot, but it would open up the information and it would show the client's full name, where they work, their phone number, their email address, any notes. So if there's some notes on there, Lisa has one in here that has notes. Moving from Vegas to another school district. I have 5 years in the district, blah, 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 blah. Maybe they have another 403B that they wanted to move. Hey, I have a current 403B or a pension that I want moved. So those notes could be in there. Some clients write notes and some don't. So that's pretty much the same across all formats. What's cool about the app split company is they engage you a little bit more. So not only are they having more touches with the clients, but where the other opportunity is on that is once the appointment is over, they would reach out to you automatically and say, hey, Lisa, you need to report on how it went with your appointment. Well, here's the cool thing is, number one is, let's just say your appointment was a no-show. Well, you can report it in their system. So you go in the system, it has a drop down and you'd say it's a no-show. Now what happens is, number one, you're not being billed, right? So that's a positive side to it. But number two, what happens there is their system will automatically reach out to the client again and try and get them rescheduled. You might go into that next appointment, and this is where there's really a lot of value added for the 25%. So this is another big value add in my eyes is you go, hey, it went great. I scheduled a second appointment. Okay, that's one of the drop downs. You select that. There's a box there for it says second appointment, date and time. You'd type that in. And then if you were going to have a Zoom meeting with them, you could put that in. Now, here's the cool thing. Let's just say the appointment's for next Tuesday at 11 o'clock. Well, what happens is the system will then automatically record that, and it will send email reminders and text reminders to that client for you that they have an appointment with you next Tuesday. It will also send you a reminder, so you will know you will have an appointment that next Tuesday. So for the 25% app split, where I see there's a lot of value is, number one is you're getting a lot more full-time employees, which is huge. The close rates are higher. And number three would be probably the biggest thing is the system automatically takes care of you and does that quote unquote hand holding, not only with the training, but also with the follow-up to make sure you close the appointment. These other appointment setting systems, what they do is they're setting the first appointment for you, right? But it's your responsibility to do all the other work. They're pre-charging, or they're charging you at the time of the appointment for the appointment. But whether you sell that person or not, they're not as concerned, right? So that's a big opportunity. Lisa, I know you probably have a comment because you got a lot of agents have a lot of success in that group.
Well, so I would say the one thing, so you've got a couple of experts that just make their living on doing these specific type of appointments, and that's what we're sharing that 25% with, because A, they're getting the appointment set for you, B, you've got access to them to assist you with some questions here and there or whatnot. The one thing I want to point out with the 25-75 split is that if you do have some qualifications that you have to hit to fit for their program, and that is that you have to know what you're talking about when it comes to the 403B space or colleges, depending on the category that you select, because they do have a lot of skin, a little bit more skin in the game than we do by giving you these appointments without a cost. You can imagine if they just flooded this with 1,500 agents that just wanted free appointments. I mean, it wouldn't really be a good business. So they do in their registration process. I want to be upfront and let you guys know that there is going to be some questions on what your expertise is in those spaces. So if you don't have a lot of knowledge in there, my recommendation I tell all of my guys is go and do the research on it. Go do the research. Definitely get yourself familiar because they have limited space. And so they're going to want that space to be dedicated to those that are familiar with the concept, familiar with how those sales go, and are able to, have that confidence with those appointments right out of the gate.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't mean to sound harsh on that, but I mean, does that, Rob, do you have anything to add? I mean,
no, I mean, I
rather
think,
be totally like upfront
right.
and,
No, there can be some great success there. The nice thing is with that
absolutely.
system is just making sure that, hey, that the follow throughs there, and it's nice because they do offer a little bit of training in it. The big thing is, and what Lisa's telling you is, hey, you know, we want to make sure that somebody is really actively engaged in doing well with any of these systems, but this one even more importantly, because you know they're throwing money at you, you know, to create these appointments, and there is a cost associated behind it. And so we want to make sure, the other thing is too on their system is they want to make sure that, hey, their clients are being treated properly, right? You know, or potential clients are being treated properly, and that you're actually contacting them. You know, we've had some issues in the past where an agent goes, oh, it's a free appointment, I'm going to watch Monday Night Football instead. Well, that doesn't really fly, you know what I mean? So
That's not a
so
good
we
way to
want
run your business.
to yeah, so we want to make sure that's kind of a good follow through on your side of it, if that makes any sense. So
You say it
anyway.
so much nicer than I do, I think.
Moving right along, but you know, hey, one of the things, you guys, while this calendar's up really quick and everybody's looking at it, you know, kind of cut to some chase a little bit is, hey, any of these systems, you know, they're all available, and Lisa and the team will find out what's best for you guys and where you're going to fit best, you know, what you have more interest in. You know, of course, any questions they can't answer, they'll send you over to me, and and I'll answer for you. But the nice thing is, with most of them, you're going to sign up. The registrations are all pretty easy. It's going to create some type of calendar very similar to this, or a Calendly calendar for you. You're going to go in and block your times out for times you do not want appointments. And so basically, none of these people care whether you're a morning person, an evening person, whatever it is. But if you're going, hey, I don't want any appointments until, like the calendar we're looking at, on some of those days, like the week of the 8th through the 12th, my calendar's partially blocked. You know, the earliest appointment they wanted, that 7 a.m. description's probably a block from 7 a.m. till 9:30, and you'd create that block, and that stops any appointments coming to you. The nice thing about it is, a couple things I'll tell you is, number one is, if you go, I golf every Friday, good for you, you can block it out in your calendar. But the big thing is, hey, I'm meeting with my great client I've had for 15 years next Thursday at 3 o'clock. I don't want to be bothered after that. Put it on your calendar. You won't get any appointments. I'm going to the IAMS convention because I won this free trip to go to, where is it? Somewhere down there in Florida or wherever it was. And I'm going to be gone next
Carolinas.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You block it
Mhm.
out in your calendar and you won't get any appointments. But here's the real cool thing, and I'd ask all of you this, is if you've been in this business for a while, how many of you have ever, I'm not asking you to raise your hand because I can't see them, but how many of you ever go on vacation? We all do, and you're gone for a week, and here's what happens on your vacation. You leave and it's Friday, you got to be back by the following Monday. Well, it gets to be about Wednesday or Thursday, and you're laying in the lounge chair by the pool, having some weird drink with an umbrella in it, and you're thinking to yourself, "God, man, I got to get back to work, man. I don't have anything on my calendar," and you start getting all tense about it. You're not able to enjoy yourself. Well, the nice thing is, you leave on vacation now, you block your calendar out while you're gone, and guess what happens on Wednesday, Thursday? All of a sudden, our systems, or these appointment systems, will automatically start up again, and you'll be sitting there by your having your fun drink, and all of a sudden your phone will be going ding, 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 or your email's going ding, 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 and you'll look in there and go, oh man, I already have appointments for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. You don't even need to worry about it. So the good thing is, there's opportunity here. And like I said, I reiterate again, this is about keeping your pipeline full. And it's a great way to do a lot more business than you're currently doing, so on that side of it. But anyway, all these
Absolutely.
systems will create a calendar for you as you go through the registration process. Some of them do sync with other calendars. If you use Outlook, most of them do, or Google calendars, they'll sync with that. So
Mhm.
Lise, where are we next?
Well, I just want to touch on the calendar, calendar management, calendar management. So, when we first started doing these preset appointments during the COVID days, I had an agent that, was in just a rural farmland area, I guess. And he didn't think that he needed to block off time on his calendar because he was thinking, maybe he'd get 3 or 4 appointments that week. Well, it's such a good program that he had 17 appointments. And so to keep up with, right out of the gate going with 17 appointments, and you've never even done a Zoom call before, so we had to get him ready to, figure out how to do Zoom calls and all sorts of things. We got him through it. But here's what I want to say on calendar management. I mean, this is somewhat common sense, but when you're doing your calendar management, when you're setting up your availability, I do want to make sure I emphasize that you want to make sure that you leave some room for you to have those second and third appointments as well. Don't
Absolutely.
completely pack down
Absolutely.
yourself, because what's the point of you having 17 or 50 appointments, if you're not going to close them, if you don't have the time to
Right.
close them or stay on top of that prospect. So that's the
Well,
only thing I
one
wanted
other
to.
thing I would one sorry to interrupt you. One thing I'd say on
Mhm.
that too, Lisa, is for a lot of agents, some of you out there have bought, hey, I'm paying $350, $400 for these appointments somewhere else, right? And I gave the guy $3,000, and I was supposed to get 10 appointments, and I only have, they've only given me 3 over the last 4 months. What you see that she has a screenshot of, this is actually somebody's live calendar. Um, the appointments can be made on a 60-minute basis. So if there's a 3 o'clock appointment, the next earliest appointment you would get would be 4 o'clock. You can look on the second on the appointment there, and you see there's a 10 o'clock appointment created. The next earliest would have been 11 o'clock. So the client created 11:15. Now remember, all these systems, one cool thing about it to reiterate is the client actually creates the appointment at the date and the time they want it, and then the system sorts them and delivers them to you if you're available. But the 11:15 appointment caused a block, so the next earliest appointment was 12:15. Um, to reiterate what Lisa's saying, though, as you can see, if you leave the calendar open, and I assure you, with most all these appointment setting systems, if you leave your calendar wide open, you could get 6 appointments a day, which is too many to start with. And that's what Lisa's trying to tell you.
Mhm.
So
I mean, I've got
just
a guy who, that made a comment, he's had 50% appointments in 1 week before. I mean, clearly you've been doing this for a while, and we've got agents that do that. But if this is the first time you're going through first appointments, I just would rather, you know, take the recommendation of, starting out slow. Let's get your groove on first, and then you just
right.
take on more as you feel necessary.
Right.
Um,
One question too, Lisa, that popped up from somebody is they were talking about, can these appointments be done Zoom or they need to be face to face? Everything we're seeing, you got to remember the client, and to reiterate again, I just said it, but the client creates the appointment for the date and the time they want. They also create the type of appointment. We're not seeing many clients create an appointment that they want to meet face to face. So everything we're seeing is virtual, whether it's a phone call or Zoom meeting. So I'm hoping, Michael, that answers your question. Um, that
yep.
it's Zoom for sure, or and agents ask all the time, hey, well, am I better off doing Zoom, or am I better off doing phone call for the first one? Well, it's up to the agent, and whatever you're comfortable with, you're going to find a comfort zone out here in this deal, and where you have maybe a little bit better success. And we just go, hey, whatever you're comfortable with that you have success with, that's the way we recommend you go.
Yep. And Rob, we have just a few more minutes. I want to make sure we recap and do a poll at the end of this, so all these fine folks know how to be able to move forward if they would like to move forward. One last question with Charles, how far in advance are these appointments made? I'll let you touch on that real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. So typically the furthest you'll see an appointment out is usually about 10 days. Once in a while, you'll see one out that's 14 days out, but it's typically, the appointments being created for today. One thing I do want to say is a client can't create an appointment earlier than 24 hours out. So you don't have to worry about, somebody creates an appointment at midnight tonight for 7 a.m. tomorrow and it gets delivered to your calendar. The system doesn't work that way. It would block them from making that appointment. So what you're seeing on your calendar. Today, at least my time zone, I don't know, it's about 1 o'clock. The earliest appointment I could get would be for tomorrow around 2 o'clock. So that's one thing. The furthest they'll go out is usually about 10 days. And keep in mind, these systems do send out reminders to the people prior to the appointment. So they do reconfirm the appointment, and they also give the client an opportunity to cancel or change the date of an appointment. So hopefully that answers that question.
Yep, that's great. Well, I don't want to keep anybody later than the time that we allotted here. I am going to go ahead and launch the last poll. Now, if you have any interest in maybe you haven't contracted with IAMS yet or interested in getting more information on any of these programs, I'm going to launch this poll. Make sure you do select yes there. Basically, what we're going to do with this is you've got access to Rob, any of the other directors, myself, and you're going to look at this in three different categories. Are you interested in maybe moving forward with the Fed space and just working good old, just the Fed leads? We've got some agents that believe that that's where there's a lot more opportunity for higher annuity sales, larger annuity sales. Or are we going to go with the 75-25 split avenue where you might not have the marketing dollars to get those appointments, but we're going to have to be a little bit more, skin in the game on those, be well versed in 403Bs, colleges, those pension plans that you're going to register for, and then work with that team. Or you're all good. You don't want anybody's assistance. You don't need any training. You just want to be on your own and be your own boss and take 100% commission. We can do that too. So that's going to be the on your own kind of program, I guess. And we've got, what is that, Rob? $65 an appointment?
Yep, correct. 65 an appointment, and I think one thing too, before Unlease, I'll let you close out, but the last thing I want to say is, a lot of you are like, hey, how do I get started? What's the timeline? Get a hold of Lisa and the team over there. They'll be able to get you started. Once you get registered in the system, we can get you appointments, usually, depending on which system it is, within 2 to 3 days, 3 to 4 days, somewhere in that area. So lots of opportunity on that side to get, up and running, if that makes sense. And like I said, because of your association with IAMS, you're getting a lot of fees waived, and I mean, it's a lot, it ends up being a lot. So there is some opportunity on that side. What you got, Lisa?
I can't believe I forgot that. Thanks, Rob. Yeah, I am Steve Murray. I mean, he really wants that partnership, so I feel like if we do our part and help you with the marketing aspect, then you'll do your part and have that business going through IAMS. So that's what that family feel partnership is all about. That's why we take care of the fees on some of these things, on whatever we can, so that you don't need to worry about wasting your money on some startup fees. I know a lot of these preset appointment programs have startup fees, and some of them are comp splits, but then you end up paying and being billed for the appointment anyway. So Rob's got some stories on that, I'm sure. But with what we got for time, we got 1 more minute. I appreciate we got a heck of a crowd here, and please give us a few days to get back to you with any questions and touch base with you, especially those that are voting yes. We've got quite the crowd there, Rob. So we're going to be a little busy here.
Absolutely. Love it. Love it.
That's what we're looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. I want to thank all of you for your time in joining Rob and myself here on preset appointment programs with IAMS. And with that, Rob, I'm going to say adios.
I love you all. Thank you for being here, and enjoy the rest of your day for sure. Thank you.
Absolutely. Take care, everybody. We'll be talking to you soon. Bye-bye.